Hello to all my friends around the world. I hope you're happy, healthy, and making a ton of money every single day. And speaking of money, today I'm taking you to a place where you can literally watch money turn into miracles. Let's start with a little thought experiment. Imagine you tell me you want to drive your Tesla, not a boat, not a plane, but your actual Tesla, straight into the middle of a turbulent ocean. You're cruising at 100 kilometers per hour, listening to your favorite podcast, racing 40 meters below sea level, and even making a highway lane change while you're down there. If you said that to me, I'd probably ask whether you're still hungover from last night's party. It sounds like something ripped from Tony Stark's sketchbook, or maybe one of Elon Musk's half-finished Mars colony plans. But in the East, not only is this not science fiction, it has already become part of rush hour traffic. Just recently, China dropped a nuclear bombshell on the global engineering world, the Shenzhen, Zhongshan link. So buckle up, because today we're diving beneath the sea to take apart this $6.7 billion deep ocean monster. First, we need to answer one question. Why would China spend this kind of money in a place hit by constant typhoons, with deep, unpredictable waters? To understand that, look at the south of China, the Greater Bay Area. 86 million people live here. Let me put that into perspective. That's basically taking the entire population of Germany and squeezing it into one single region. Here you have two super neighbors, separated only by the Pearl River estuary, yet their connection used to feel like the longest distance in the world. On the east side is Shenzhen, China's Silicon Valley, home to Huawei, Tencent, and the global drone giant DJI. Housing prices are as wild as San Francisco's, and the streets are full of young people carrying laptops, trying to change the world. Shenzhen is a restless superbrain. On the west side is Zhongshan, the world's factory. The microwave in your kitchen, the lights in your living room, the electronic components inside your gadgets, there's a good chance many of them were made here. Zhongshan is the strong, hardworking pair of hands. Before this link existed, getting the brain to meet the hands was harder than a long-distance relationship. Your only option was the infamous human bridge. Trust me, the traffic jam there can make you question your existence. You could literally finish watching Titanic while stuck on that bridge. For a distance of just a few dozen kilometers, the trip took 3 full hours. For an economy built on time is money, efficiency is life. This was essentially a long-term arterial blockage. And that's why the Shenzhen, Zhongshan link was born. Once it opened, those 3 hours shrank to just 30 minutes. Alright, whether you love engineering or just enjoy giant mega projects, what comes next is going to send your adrenaline through the roof. The entire link is about 15 miles long, not very long, right? But its structure is so insanely complex that engineers call it the transformer of civil engineering. It's a Frankenstein hybrid of a super tall bridge, man-made islands, an underwater tunnel, and even an underwater interchange. Let's do a quick super comparison. Remember the most expensive highway project in US history, the Big Dig. It took more than 20 years to finish. The Shenzhen, Zhongshan link, despite being far more difficult, was completed in just 7 years. It broke 10 world records. Let's talk about the craziest ones. The Kite on the Ocean, the world's tallest sea bridge. First, you cross a suspension bridge with a main span of 1,666 meters. To let skyscraper-sized cargo ships, loaded with tens of thousands of containers, pass underneath, engineers lifted the bridge deck to 91 meters. What does that mean? Driving on this bridge feels like flying 30 stories above the ocean. And remember, this place is a typhoon alley. To test how tough the bridge really is, engineers did 2 things. First, they drove 136 heavy trucks, each weighing 35 tons, onto the bridge at the same time. It was like giving the bridge a full cardiac stress test. The result? It didn't even twitch. Second, the bridge is designed to survive wind speeds of 83.7 meters per second. In other words, Even if nature loses its temper, this bridge stays planted like a steel nail in the sea. The Lego blocks under the sea, the immersed tube tunnel. Next comes the real showstopper, a 6.8-kilometer underwater tunnel. It's the longest and widest steel shell immersed tube tunnel on Earth. What's an immersed tube? Simple, build giant tunnel segments on land, drag them into the ocean, sink them, and connect them together. But these are not backyard pipes. Each segment is 165 meters long and weighs 80,000 tons. Stand one upright, and it's as tall as a 55-story skyscraper. Now imagine sinking 32 of these 55-story buildings into a dark, high-pressure ocean 40 meters deep, and connecting them with gaps no larger than a few millimeters. One leak would mean disaster. How did they do it? Divers know. Fully automated robots. China built an intelligent dream factory, using robotic concrete casting with precision 22% higher than German standards. During underwater installation, they used Beidou satellite navigation combined with sonar, basically threading an 80,000-ton needle beneath the ocean. And yes, an underwater highway interchange. This one blows my mind. They even built a highway interchange under the sea. You heard that right, down there. You can change lanes, make turns, and head toward different man-made islands. It's the first time in human history this has ever been done. This isn't road building anymore. This is constructing an underwater city. If you think this is just a giant pile of concrete, think again. This tunnel is filled with full-on cyberpunk vibes. When you drive inside the tunnel, you'll see thousands of smart LED strips overhead. They're not just lights, they're alive. Under normal conditions, they glow soft green or white. If there's an accident, they instantly turn red like alarms on a sci-fi spaceship. If there's a fire, they transform into flowing arrows guiding your escape. It's basically turning real life into a video game HUD. And to prevent drivers from getting sleepy in such a long enclosed tunnel, the lights automatically adjust color, temperature, and brightness based on your speed and even the weather outside, tricking your brain into feeling comfortable and alert. On top of that, 14 robots patrol the tunnel 24/7. They glide along tracks with infrared and high-definition sensors, scanning every inch of the walls. If your car ever breaks down in the tunnel, the first to find you won't be a human cop, it'll be one of these robots. Now the smart viewers might ask, wait a minute, doesn't China already have the Hong Kong Zhuhai Macau Bridge right next door? That 55-kilometer world wonder, why build another expensive link? Great question. It's like asking, if you already have Captain America, why do you still need Iron Man? Because they serve different missions. The Hong Kong Zhuhai Macau Bridge is the tailored suit, the symbol. It connects Hong Kong, Macau, and mainland China, which makes it politically significant. But because it involves 3 legal systems, 3 currencies, and 3 types of driving licenses, you can't just hop on casually. The Shenzhen, Zhongshan link is the sweaty sports tank top, or maybe the oil-stained work uniform. It exists purely for business, daily life, and economic flow. It's entirely within mainland China, with no complicated border checks. Any taxi from Shenzhen or cargo truck from Zhongshan can drive through with a simple toll payment. Standing in front of a mega project like this, you have to admit something. While many places in the world argue for months about fixing a pothole, and while some countries spend 10 years digging a single metro line, China is already building highways under the ocean and turning impossible into routine. I once saw a comment online that was brutally honest but incredibly true. When the West is still debating whether to build a road, China has already built that road under the sea. When others are discussing how to divide the cake, China is busy making the cake bigger. Now I want to hear from you. If you had the chance, would you drive your own car through this underwater tunnel? Or would your deep-sea anxiety kick in? Tell me in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into hardcore engineering, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you won't miss our next adventure. I'm your guide. See you in the next video.